Hi viewers and students, our channel name is Untitled Academy. Our channel motto is Natural Learning and Joyful Learning. Viewers, to watch my videos, you type the Untitled Academy in your mobile search bar like this. You will get my videos and YouTube symbol, and you press YouTube symbol, you will get my YouTube channel homepage display like this. In my homepage, home videos playlist channels you observe. Next, you press on playlist. Then you will get categorized playlist like this. Viewers, you watch what you like videos, you want videos, then learn more. Categorized playlists say like this: 10th 10వ తరగతి మొదటి పాఠం పోషణ, technology videos for better learning, and learn with fun like videos. Student, let us go to our content. Before going to learn this lesson, nutrition and supplying part 2, you must watch part 1 video, then only you understand the content sequentially. Total lesson I covered in 3 videos, part 1, part 2 and part 3. So children, you watch total 3 videos and you learn the complete lesson in detail. Children, first we do recapitulation. Did you remember chemical equation of photosynthesis? Think it, children. What are the raw material required for photosynthesis? Think it. Recall it. Yes, I know. You got it. The raw material for photosynthesis, carbon dioxide plus water. These are the simple inorganic compounds or raw materials. What are products formed in the photosynthesis? Children, recapitulate it. Try it. Yes, you got it. The products of photosynthesis are glucose, water, oxygen. Glucose is the complex organic molecule. Do you know how C.B. von Neil derived chemical equation for photosynthesis in 1931? He was C.B. von Neil. He derived this equation: CO2 plus 2H2S gives rise in the presence of light CH2O plus H2O plus 2S. Here CH2O is the carbohydrate formula. C.B. von Neil first worked on purple sulfur bacteria and found light plays a specific role in photosynthesis. Instead of H2O, they used hydrogen sulfide as a starting material. Here, no oxygen is liberated during photosynthesis. Instead, elemental sulfur is evolved. Later, he envisioned a similar process of photosynthesis in plants. Convert the C.B. von Neil photosynthesis chemical equation into balance equation. Children, try it. Okay, children, I will explain how we balance this equation. Here, simpler formula for carbohydrates given in C.B. von chemical equation, that is CH2O. Before going to balance this equation, you must know some points. According to law of conservation of mass, In inverse, the mass is neither created nor destroyed, but the mass changes one form to another form. For observing a equation or any chemical equation, we will find reactants and products. See children, this is arrow. Before the arrow are reactants. After the arrow are products. In chemical equation, reactants participated in a chemical reaction and produces the products. In photosynthesis chemical reaction, what are the products? Just now we learned glucose, water and oxygen. Do you know children formula of glucose? That is C6H12O6. This is the glucose molecule. Any molecule consists stable structure. So children, we can't change stable structure formula. So first we write glucose formula in the equation. Here C, you put 6 here. H12 here. O6 here. After writing glucose molecule formula, now we started. Let us start the balancing the all atoms in equation. First we observe carbon atoms. In products, glucose having 6 carbon atoms. In reactants, carbon dioxide having only 1 carbon atom. So we write 6 here. Now carbon atoms became balanced. Next we observe hydrogen atoms. In reactants there are 4 hydrogen atoms is there. In products 12 hydrogen atoms in glucose and 2 hydrogen atoms in water molecule. Total 14 hydrogen atoms are present. For balancing hydrogen atoms, if we put 6 here, what we will get? 12 hydrogen atoms in reactants, but in products there are 12 hydrogen atoms in molecule and 2 more hydrogen atoms in water molecule. So the hydrogen atoms not balanced. So we put 12 here. After putting 12 here, we will get 24 hydrogen atoms in reactants. In products, 14 hydrogen atoms only there. So we balancing for balancing these hydrogen atoms, we write 6 here. Now hydrogen atoms became balanced. Next, we observe the oxygen atoms. In reactants, oxygen atoms 12 oxygen atoms present in carbon dioxide and 12 more oxygen atoms present in water molecule. Total 24 oxygen atoms in reactants. But in products, 6 oxygen atoms in glucose and 6 more oxygen atoms in molecule and 2 more oxygen in oxygen molecule. Total 14 oxygen atoms only present in products. So to balancing the oxygen atoms, we write 6 here. Now this chemical equation became balanced. Children, listen carefully. I read this balanced chemical equation. After listening, you also try to read this chemical equation. 6CO2 plus 12H2O in the presence of light and chlorophyll gives rise C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. Once again I repeat this chemical equation. 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives rise in the presence of light and chlorophyll C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. Children, listen carefully. I give a technique to balancing the photosynthesis chemical equation. Children, you always remember this chemical formula of glucose molecule, that is C6H12O6. See children, 6 carbon atoms present in glucose molecule. So you simply write 6 before carbon dioxide. And 12 hydrogen atoms present in glucose molecule, so you simply write 12 before water molecule in reactants. And 6 oxygen atoms present in glucose molecule, so you write 6 before oxygen molecules in products. You also write 6 before water molecules in products. Now you will get balanced photosynthesis chemical equation. As a result of the efforts of scientists over a period of almost 300 years, only a few of the materials needed for photosynthesis management have been identified. See, children, there are a series of experiments conducted by several scientists. After several experiments, only we identified some materials in the photosynthesis process. Scientists are of the opinion that there are still a lot of unknown substances that are involved in this process. Let us examine how scientists have come to know about the materials required for the management of photosynthesis. Are you ready, children? An experiment by von Helmont proved that water plays a major role in weight gain. Children, we already learned this experiment in class 7th. That lesson name is plant nutrition. Once again, we recall that experiment. Von Helmont, he was the von Helmont. He did a wonderful experiment about water plays a major role in plant weight gain. Children, see the experiment carefully and understand the Jean Baptiste von Helmont experiment. He took a flower pot and take a weighed soil in that. That soil weight is approximately 200 kgs. Planted a seed in that, and he put a percolated plate over on flower pot. He did this experiment for 5 years. He gave some water only daily. There is nothing is given to this plant during the 5 years. Some rainwater, and he gave some water daily for this plant. After 5 years, he took the plant and weighed that. It seemed to weigh approximately 169 kgs. And he also weighed the soil. Surprisingly, soil also seemed nearly 200 kgs. Then he proved that there is nothing taken by plant from the soil. The plant grow with the help of water only. Then he proved that water plays a major role in plant weight gain. Next experiment conducted by Joseph Priestley. He was the Joseph Priestley. Joseph Priestley experimentally proved in 1770 that air plays a major role in the growth of green plants. Von Helmont proved that water plays major role in the growth of plant. Then Joseph Priestley proved that air plays a major role in the growth of green plants. In 1774, Joseph Priestley discovered oxygen. Later, in 1775, Lavoisier named the gas oxygen. He was the Lavoisier. Children, now we observe the Joseph Priestley experiment, how he can prove that air plays a major role in the growth of a plant. He did 4 experiments. See here, experiment 1, experiment 2, experiment 3 and experiment 4. First, in experiment 1, Priestley placed a glass bell jar on a burning candle. Immediately, the candle exhausted. In experiment 2, he placed a glass bell jar on a flamed candle and with mint flower was. He observed that candle didn't stop burning. It continuously burning throughout the experiment. After that, he did experiment 3. In that, he placed a glass bell jar on burning candle and with a rat. After some time, the burning candle exhausted and rat died. In experiment 4, he took mint flower vase and rat with the burning candle and placed a bell jar on them. He observed rat is alive throughout the experiment and candle also burning throughout the experiment. Let us observe the Priestley experiment. In 1774, Joseph Priestley discovered the oxygen. Children, carefully you observe this experiment, how Priestley did experiment. Joseph Priestley experiments, air and photosynthesis. Experiment 1. He placed a glass bell jar on a burning candle. It immediately exhausting. Experiment 2. He placed a glass bell jar on burning candle and a rat. After some time, the rat died and the flame candle also stopped. Experiment 3. He placed a glass bell jar with mint vase flower, flamed candle and rat. Children, carefully observe. Candle releases the carbon dioxide by using oxygen. Mint plant give oxygen to candle. Rat also receives oxygen in respiration. Candle releases, rat releases carbon dioxide. That released carbon dioxide received by mint plant in photosynthesis. It takes continuously so that throughout experiment rat alive and candle also burn. Children, 1. Helmont proved that water plays major role in growth of plant, and Priestley proved that air plays major role in the growth of plant. Now Robert Hill proved that light releases oxygen from water. He was the Robert Hill. He did an experiment in photosynthesis process, oxygen released from water. He gave a chemical equation for that purpose, photolysis. H2O gives rise to H++ 2 electrons plus of oxygen. We can also write this equation like this. 2H2O gives rise 4H plus 4 electrons plus oxygen. In 1779, Dutch scientist Jan Ingenhousz discovered that plants produce oxygen in the presence of light. He was the Ingenhousz. He did an experiment to prove this. This experiment also called as Hydrilla experiment. John Ingenhousz proposed that photosynthesis takes place only in the green parts of plants. This apparatus setup, when put in light, only oxygen releases. If you put this setup in dark place, the oxygen doesn't releases. In the 20th century, a scientist named Engelmann discovered the site of maximum photosynthesis. He was the Engelmann. Do you observe whips here? In that 7 colors are present. In photosynthesis, some colors only taken more. Engelmann observed that by doing an experiment with algae. He took a strand of algae and he observed oxygen-sensitive bacteria accumulated in some type of color wavelength light only. In that, he observed blue and red colored rays more attractive for light-sensitive bacteria. They are accumulated blue and red color area only. He also observed the photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 are the more important in photosynthesis. Maximum photosynthesis rate sites. In 1817, two scientists, Pelletier and Cavendish, made a decoction of the green substance and named it chlorophyll. Chlorophyll means green. He was the Pelletier and he was the Cavendish. They identified collect the extraction from green leaves and named this structure chlorophyll. Due to chlorophyll only, leaves are in green color. In 1883, a scientist named Julius von Sachs discovered that chlorophyll was in green particles that did not spread throughout the entire cell. He was the Julius von Sachs. He observed, see children, in plant cell, there are some area only having the chlorophylls. Remaining cells having without chlorophyll. See other. After 1954, Daniel I. Arnon was able to break down the plant cell and isolate the chloroplast that supports photosynthesis. Daniel I. Arnon collects the chloroplast from the cell. See children, this green colored circle parts are the chloroplast. He carefully collects the chloroplast. In 1954, up to 1954, many scientists tried to collect the chloroplast, but they are not successful. Chlorophyll is similar to heme in the pigment hemoglobin present in the blood. If hemoglobin contains iron atom, chlorophyll contains magnesium atom. See children, this is the chlorophyll, this is the hemoglobin. The structure looks like same. The structure called as heme. Only changes in the middle molecular atom. In chlorophyll, we observe magnesium atom. In hemoglobin, iron atom. Due to hemoglobin only, our blood looks red color. Due to chlorophyll, leaves are in green color. These are the colored pigments. Due to these pigments only, that area become green and red color. Light energy is converted into chemical energy by photosynthesis. The energy of light is absorbed by the grana. Glucose is produced in the stroma. Let us now consider the process by which photosynthesis takes place in green plants. Children, are you ready? See children, here this picture, sun rays fallen on a tree. This tree leaves conducted the photosynthesis by absorbing the carbon dioxide from atmosphere through stomata and by absorbing water from roots, and photosynthesis takes place in leaves. After photosynthesis, produced oxygen releases to atmosphere through stomata and formed glucose stored in different parts of the plants. Let us observe how they taken place in chloroplast and chlorophyll. We visualizing that process, photosynthesis. Are you ready, children? Okay. We take a leaf from a plant. This is the green leaf. In 9th class, we observe the TS section of a leaf experimentally. Once again, that experiment, how we did that experiment, once again we observe now. We cut the leaf in middle. After that, by using potato, we cut the small thin layer. This cutted small thin layer we will place under a microscope that looks like this. This is the TS of a leaf. In our textbook, the TS of a leaf structure given very clearly. The parts also given. Now we will observe that parts. This is the TS of a leaf. Above we observe cuticle. Below cuticle, upper epidermis. Upper epidermis below we observe the plasticate parenchyma. In the middle we observe the transported system. Above xylem and below phloem. This is also called as vascular bundle. Below palisade parenchyma we observe spongy parenchyma, air spaces. See here, there is nothing is there, empty place is there, that is filled with air. So air spaces, we call it as air spaces. This air spaces open to outside through an opening. This opening called as stomata. This opening guarded by a cells called guard cells. Below this sequence of arranged cells called as lower epidermis, and above this epidermis a layer is cuticle. Children, observe carefully. In palisade parenchyma and spongy parenchyma having a blood spots. That spots are the chloroplast. This is the chloroplast. Observe carefully now with maximizing the chloroplast. Chloroplast having the three-layered cell organelle. This is a cell organelle present in plant cell. It covered with three layers. In inner layer there are number of convoluted structures called as grana. Membrane, outer layer is membrane. This granule-like structures called as lipid globule, and this straight tube-like structure is stroma thylakoid, and this liquid viscous liquid called stroma. Between second layer and third layer, the stroma cover total cell. Then this is grana. In granum only chlorophyll present. This layer-like structure granum known as grana thylakoid. This is the formal starch grain. Children, you learn this chloroplast picture without seeing. You can draw, and you also label this picture. You will able to label this picture without seeing. So you practice it many times. By practicing only, you will get full confident on the structure and parts names. Now we observe this chloroplast in 3D shape. Are you ready, children? This is the 3D structure of chloroplast. This is our external membrane, or also called as outer membrane. This is the grana thylakoid, and this is the lumen, and this is the stroma, and this is the inner membrane. The photosynthesis takes place in this chloroplast only. In grana, light reaction is taking place. Chlorophyll pigments present in grana only, and dark reaction takes place in stroma. Let us observe the light and dark reaction, how they taken place in chloroplast. See, children, in chloroplast there are two reactions taking places in the photosynthesis. One is light reaction, second one is dark reaction. Light reaction takes place in grana. Second continuous reaction, Kelvin cycle, takes place in stroma. In light reaction, the water molecule lysis takes place and gives oxygen molecules, produces, and in the same time ATP and NADPH also formed. These are the end products of the light reaction. ATP, NADPH, and oxygen are the end products of the light reactions. After completion of light reactions, remaining enzymatic reactions takes place in the stroma and forms reduce the carbon dioxide and forms glucose by using ATP and NADPH as a energy sources. These are the chlorophyll present in grana. Due to chlorophyll only, the light energy absorption taking place in grana. After observing light energy from photons, the activated chlorophyll ruptures the water molecule or lyses the water molecule and produces the oxygen. That produced oxygen releases through stomata and formed ATP and NADPH uses in Kelvin cycle, or in dark reactions produces the glucose. Now you observe the reactions takes place in grana, how they work out. Chloroplast stroma. Here see PS1 and PS2. Photosystem 1, photosystem 2. These are formed by group of chlorophyll and different chlorophyll A and chlorophyll pigments. These also called as the units of photosynthesis. They observe the light energy from sunlight and activated the photosystem 1 and releases a electron. Uh, for getting electron, a sequential chemical reactions takes place. Due to the sequential chemical reactions, the water molecule lysis, photolysis takes place. Water molecule ruptured and divided into H plus and OH minus ions. Then oxygen released through stomata and H plus ions due to sequential reactions ATP is formed and NADPH also formed. All this taken place in grana. Observe carefully, children. ADP convert to ATP. ATP stored the energy. So also ATP also called as energy currents of the cell. Observe the children carefully. Here, light observed by the chlorophyll present in granum, and a light reaction takes place. In light reaction, the end products are oxygen and ATP and NADPH. After completion of light reaction, dark reaction takes place. Dark means it doesn't need any light. That means it work in dark only. It is not correct. It done in daytime and nighttime also. For this reaction, number of enzymatic continuous sequential reactions takes place. During this reaction, carbon dioxide reduced to sugar. For this reaction, energy utilized from NADPH and ATP. These circular reactions observed or invented by Kelvin. So, for his work, the cycle also called as Kelvin cycle. See, children, once again, I visualize the total process of photosynthesis. Every plant in their leaves having chloroplasts. These are the TS of leaf. In TS of leaf, there are green spots. That green spots are the chloroplasts. The 3D structure of chloroplast is this. This is the granum, this is the stroma. In this granum, light reaction or photochemical reaction takes place. In the stroma, dark reaction or light independent reaction or biosynthetic reaction takes place. After continuous light reaction and dark reaction, the glucose is finally formed. The complex of chlorophyll pigments is called functional unit of photosynthesis. They are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. This is chlorophyll A and this is chlorophyll B. Many events occur in the chloroplast during photosynthesis. The most important of which are 1. Conversion of light energy into chemical energy. 2. Splitting of water molecule. 3. Reduction of carbon dioxide to carbohydrates. Light independent, light reaction. Light independent or light reaction. Activities takes place in the grana, while the rest of the light independent or dark reaction activities takes place in the stroma. Light reaction and dark reaction flow chart. Photosynthesis. In photosynthesis, there are two reactions takes place. One is light dependent reaction, also called as light reaction, photochemical reaction. Second one is light independent reaction, also called as dark reaction, all biosynthesis reaction. In light reactions, three steps are there. One is chlorophyll is activated. Second step, photolysis. Third step, oxygen release and formation of ATP NADPH. Photolysis. How it works. H2O gives rise H plus plus OH minus. H2O molecule divided into H plus and OH minus due to photo and photochemical reaction. So this reaction called as photolysis. This reaction invented by Robert Hill. So it also called as Hill reaction. This chemical equation also write like this. 2H2O gives rise 4H plus plus 4 electrons plus oxygen. After photolysis, oxygen is released and products are ATP and NADPH are called energy receptor or assimilatory power. In second reaction, light independent reaction takes place in stroma. In continuous enzymatic reactions, the glucose is formed. To form glucose, energy utilized from ATP and NADPH. Dark reaction means that it does not take place in the dark or at night. It should be understood that this reaction does not depend on light. It takes place at daytime and nighttime also. H plus ions produced in photolysis are immediately picked up by special compound NADP to form NADPH. In the dark phase, the H plus of the NADPH is used to combine it with carbon dioxide by utilizing ATP energy and to produce glucose C6H12O6. Glucose molecules are converted into complex carbohydrates in a series of many chemical reactions. Plants make their required proteins and fats and glucose that is formed from photosynthesis. Students, take a look at what you have learned so far. 1. Who is the scientist who discovered that water plays a major role in plant growth? Second one. Who is the scientist who reported that the oxygen released during photosynthesis is released from the water molecule? Children, by watching this video carefully, you simply answer this question. Briefly describe photosynthesis. Did we mention that organisms collect nutrients is called nutrition? But what are the nutrients? You try to answer. We will learn in the next video how many types of nutrients are available from which foods and how they are digested. Thank you children for watching my video.